The silent arrival. The year was 2157, and Earth had finally achieved what generations had dreamed of: a unified planet working in harmony. Cities stretched toward the sky with gleaming towers of sustainable energy, while the oceans and forests had been restored to their former glory. The United Earth Federation governed with wisdom, having learned from centuries of conflict. Dr. Maya Chen sat in her observatory on Mount K, Hawaii, monitoring deep space signals as she had done for the past decade. The night was clear, stars twinkling against the black canvas of space. Her coffee had gone cold hours ago, forgotten beside her keyboard as she analyzed routine data streams. Then it happened. A signal unlike anything she'd ever seen appeared on her screens. Not random cosmic noise, but structured, deliberate patterns. Her hands trembled as she adjusted the receivers, double-checking the readings. This was it. First contact. Within hours, the news spread across Earth. Humanity had always wondered if they were alone in the universe, and now they had their answer. The signal originated from a massive fleet approaching the outer reaches of the solar system. The United Earth Federation called an emergency session. General Marcus Rodriguez stood before the council, his weathered face grave. "We've confirmed the signals are coming from an alien fleet. They're decelerating, which suggests they intend to make contact, not pass through." The council erupted in excited chatter. Finally, humanity would join the galactic community. But Rodriguez raised his hand for silence. "I recommend we prepare for all possibilities. We know nothing about their intentions." Ambassador Sarah Kim, Earth's chief diplomat, smiled confidently. "General, we've moved beyond our violent past. We should welcome them with open arms, show them the best of humanity." 3 weeks later, the Krillian ships entered Earth's orbit. They were magnificent, crystalline structures that seemed to defy physics, shimmering with internal light. The lead ship transmitted a message in perfect English, having apparently studied our broadcasts. "Greetings, inhabitants of Earth. We are the Krillian Empire, explorers and traders from the Andromeda Galaxy. We come in peace, seeking cultural exchange and mutual benefit." The world celebrated. Streets filled with jubilant crowds, fireworks lit up the night sky, and hastily composed songs about cosmic friendship topped the charts. Ambassador Kim led the welcoming delegation to the first meeting aboard the Krillian flagship. High Commander Zethkar of the Krillian Empire observed the humans with hidden contempt. These creatures were soft, naive, and technologically primitive. Their ships were clumsy metal constructs, their weapons laughably outdated. The Empire would add Earth to its collection of conquered worlds easily. For months, the Krillians played their role perfectly. They shared selective pieces of technology, told tales of peaceful galactic federations, and praised human culture. All the while, they mapped Earth's defenses, studied human psychology, and identified weaknesses. But humanity wasn't as naive as the Krillians believed. In secret bunkers beneath the Himalayas, the Earth Defense Council had been preparing for decades. General Rodriguez had insisted on maintaining hidden military installations, advanced weapons research, and training programs for this exact scenario. Dr. Chen, now part of the Secret Defense Initiative, worked tirelessly reverse engineering Krillian technology from seemingly innocent gifts. "They're hiding something," she told Rodriguez. "These devices have secondary functions they haven't disclosed." The general nodded grimly. "We've detected their scout ships mapping our defensive blind spots. They think we don't notice." 6 months after first contact, the Krillians made their move. During a grand celebration of interstellar friendship, Zethkar stood before the United Earth Federation. His crystalline form towered over the human delegates. "Humans of Earth," he began, his voice resonating through the chamber. "Your species has proven disappointing, weak, divided by petty differences, clinging to outdated notions of sovereignty." Ambassador Kim stepped forward, confusion on her face. "High Commander, I don't understand. We've shown you nothing but friendship." Zethkar's form shifted, revealing weapon ports. And that is precisely why you are unworthy. The Krillian Empire does not befriend the weak. We absorb them. Your planet's resources will serve the Empire well. Across the globe, Krillian ships powered up their weapons. But in that moment, as the aliens prepared to strike, sirens wailed across every human city. Emergency broadcasts interrupted all channels. General Rodriguez appeared on screens worldwide. His face hard as granite. Citizens of Earth, initiate Protocol Omega. Our guests have shown their true colors. The Krillians fired their first volley, expecting to obliterate Earth's major cities. Instead, their weapons struck invisible shields that flared to life around every population center. Hidden defense platforms emerged from beneath oceans and mountains, returning fire with weapons that shouldn't have existed on such a primitive world. Zethkar recoiled in shock as human fighters launched from concealed bases, moving with impossible speed and precision. These weren't the crude vessels they'd observed. These were sleek, deadly craft incorporating technology even the Krillians didn't recognize. Impossible, Zethkar roared. Your species is centuries behind us. On the bridge of Earth's flagship, the UES Retribution, Admiral Lisa Chang smiled coldly. You made two mistakes, Zethkar. First, you assumed our peaceful nature meant weakness. Second, you thought we'd forgotten how to wage war. The Krillian commander watched in horror as his primitive opponents revealed weapon after weapon, strategy after strategy, that defied everything he thought he knew about humans. His scouts reported massive underground complexes activating across the planet, revealing industrial capacity that dwarfed what the Krillians had observed on the surface. In the secret command center, Dr. Chen coordinated cyber attacks that penetrated Krillian systems with ease. They never suspected we'd been developing quantum encryption for 50 years, she reported to Rodriguez. The general watched the tactical displays with grim satisfaction. They saw what we wanted them to see. A peaceful, unified Earth. They never imagined we'd maintained our edge, just hidden it better. As the first phase of battle raged across Earth's skies, human forces revealed capabilities that shocked even their own citizens. Energy weapons that could punch through Krillian shields, fighters that could match alien maneuverability, and defensive systems that turned major cities into fortresses. But this was just the beginning. The Krillians had awakened something ancient and terrible in humanity, the will to survive at any cost. They had mistaken kindness for weakness, diplomacy for submission. Now they would learn why Earth's warriors had once been feared across their own world. They would discover why humans had survived everything their own planet and history had thrown at them. The silent arrival was over. The fury of Earth was about to be unleashed. The savage response. The skies above Earth blazed with warfare as humanity revealed its hidden strength. Krillian commanders, who had expected an easy conquest, found themselves facing an enemy that fought with terrifying creativity and adaptability. In the ruins of Seattle, Captain James Walker led his resistance cell through underground tunnels. The Krillians had managed to land troops despite the planetary defenses, but they were unprepared for what awaited them on the ground. Remember, Walker whispered to his team, they rely on their technology. We rely on knowing every inch of our home turf. Above them, Krillian soldiers marched in perfect formation, their crystalline armor gleaming. They moved with the arrogance of conquerors who had subjugated 100 worlds. But this wasn't like other worlds. Walker gave the signal. Hidden charges detonated, collapsing buildings onto the alien formation. As the Krillians struggled to regroup, human fighters emerged from sewers, basements, and hidden bunkers. They struck with primitive weapons, modified construction tools, improvised explosives, anything that could penetrate alien armor at close range. The Krillians were elite soldiers, but they'd never faced an enemy that fought like cornered animals. Humans didn't follow predictable patterns or established military doctrine. They used their environment as a weapon, turning their own cities into death traps. In orbit, Admiral Chang coordinated Earth's space forces with ruthless efficiency. Launch the swarm, she ordered. Thousands of tiny drones erupted from hidden satellites, each no larger than a basketball. The Krillians dismissed them as insignificant until the drones attached themselves to their ships and began eating through their hulls with nanite technology the aliens had never encountered. On the Krillian flagship, Zethkar watched his perfect invasion crumble. How? He demanded. Their technology was primitive. We studied them for months. His science officer trembled. Commander, we studied what they showed us. These humans, they've been preparing for alien contact for generations. They developed technology specifically to counter any advanced civilization. The revelation hit Zethkar like a physical blow. The humans hadn't just hidden their capabilities. They'd deliberately shown weakness to lure potential enemies into overconfidence. Meanwhile, on Luna Base, Colonel Maria Santos prepared humanity's most audacious counterstrike. The Moon Base, disguised as a simple research outpost, housed Earth's most advanced weapons project, the Prometheus Array. All systems green, her technician reported, targeting the Krillian command ship. Santos nodded. Fire. A beam of concentrated dark energy lanced out from the moon's surface, striking the Krillian flagship with pinpoint accuracy. The alien shields, designed to handle conventional energy weapons, provided no protection against a weapon that manipulated the fundamental forces of the universe. Half the Krillian command structure died in an instant. But humanity's true weapon wasn't technology. It was the indomitable human spirit. In occupied Paris, a grandmother named Marie Dubois led children through ancient catacombs to safety while coordinating resistance attacks through coded messages in recipe books. In Tokyo, corporate executive Hiroshi Tanaka revealed that his entire skyscraper was actually a disguised military installation. Office workers transformed into trained soldiers, wielding weapons hidden in filing cabinets and copy machines. The Krillians found themselves fighting not just an army, but an entire species united in defiance. Every human, from children to elders, contributed to the resistance. Doctors created bioweapons targeting Krillian physiology. Hackers infiltrated alien networks. Factory workers sabotaged captured equipment. Dr. Chen's cyber warfare division achieved a breakthrough, accessing the Krillian battle network. General Rodriguez, we're in. I can see everything. Their troop movements, supply lines, even their communications with their home world. Rodriguez smiled grimly. Send them a message. Let them know we're reading their mail. The psychological impact on the Krillians was devastating. They'd never faced an enemy that could match their technology, while surpassing them in cunning and determination. Their soldiers, used to quick victories against terrified populations, began to break under the relentless human assault. In the Battle of Luna Base, humanity demonstrated the full extent of its hidden military might. Stealth ships decloaked around Krillian vessels, revealing a fleet 3 times larger than the aliens had detected. Weapons that bent space-time itself tore through Krillian formations. Captain Eva Muller, piloting the experimental fighter Valkyrie 1, executed maneuvers that should have been impossible. Her ship, powered by a miniaturized fusion reactor and equipped with inertial dampeners reverse-engineered from crashed UFOs, danced through enemy fire. "This is for every world you've conquered," she broadcast on open channels, before unleashing a barrage of antimatter missiles that vaporized 3 Krillian cruisers. The turning point came when humanity revealed its ultimate secret. They'd been in contact with other alien civilizations for decades. The Krillians weren't the first to discover Earth. They were just the first foolish enough to attack it. Ambassador Kim, who the Krillians had dismissed as a naive diplomat, stood on the bridge of a ship that materialized from nowhere. "Did you really think we'd survived this long in the galaxy by being weak?" she asked Zethkar through a secure channel. "We've been members of the Galactic Defense Pact for 50 years. We just kept it quiet to see who would try to take advantage of us." As allied ships from a dozen peaceful civilizations emerged from hyperspace to support Earth, the Krillians realized the magnitude of their error. They hadn't stumbled upon a primitive world ripe for conquest. They'd attacked a sleeping giant that had been waiting for someone to make this mistake. In bunkers across Earth, resistance leaders received the same message. Phase 2 begins now. Show them why humans are the most dangerous species in the galaxy. The savage response had shattered Krillian expectations. Now it was time for humanity to go on the offensive. The hunters were about to become the hunted. The wrath unleashed. The tide had turned, and humanity stood ready to demonstrate why they had survived every challenge their violent history had thrown at them. General Rodriguez addressed the United Forces of Earth from the command center, his voice carrying across every military channel. For 6 months, they studied us. For 6 months, we let them believe we were weak. Now, we show them the price of threatening our home. Across the solar system, humanity's true military might emerge from hiding. Massive warships, each one a masterpiece of human engineering, decloaked near Mars. The Ares fleet, named after the ancient god of war, represented 50 years of secret development. Captain David Murray commanded the flagship UES Vengeance. All ships initiate Operation Thunderstrike. Let's remind these Krillians why humans once ruled their own world through conquest before choosing peace. The human fleet moved with precision that astounded their alien allies. Where Krillian tactics relied on overwhelming force and technological superiority, humans employed unpredictability, adaptation, and psychological warfare. Dr. Chen had decoded the Krillian language completely, allowing humanity to broadcast directly into their neural networks. "We are coming," the message repeated in perfect Krillian. "We are the children of war who chose peace. You have awakened what we buried." The psychological impact was immediate. Krillian soldiers, already demoralized by the fierce ground resistance, began to panic as human ships appeared and disappeared using stolen cloaking technology improved beyond its original design. In the asteroid belt, Colonel Jake Thompson led the Deep Space Marines in a series of devastating raids. His soldiers, equipped with power armor that combined human and reverse-engineered alien technology, moved through Krillian supply depots like ghosts. "Remember," Thompson told his troops, "we're not just fighting to win. We're fighting to ensure no one ever underestimates humanity again." The liberation of Earth's occupied territories became a masterclass in combined arms warfare. Human forces used everything from advanced energy weapons to simple booby traps, keeping the Krillians off balance and terrified. In New Delhi, teenage hacker Priya Patel crashed the Krillian occupation network by uploading a virus disguised as a surrender negotiation. As alien systems failed, resistance fighters stormed their positions, led by her grandfather, a retired military officer who had maintained secret weapons caches for decades. The final battle came near Saturn, where the Krillian reinforcement fleet emerged from hyperspace. They expected to find their advance forces victorious. Instead, they found Admiral Chang's combined human-alien fleet waiting. "High Commander Zethkar," Chang broadcast, "you came to our system seeking conquest. You found warriors who had transcended war, but never forgotten how to wage it." The Battle of Saturn's Rings lasted 3 days. Human ships used the rings for cover, employing tactics that seemed insane to conventional military thinking. They flew through gaps barely wider than their ships, used gravitational forces to slingshot munitions, and turned ice particles into weapons. Lieutenant Kim Lee, piloting a stealth bomber, delivered the decisive blow. Using Saturn's magnetic field to mask her approach, she deployed a quantum torpedo directly into the Krillian fleet's command nexus. The resulting explosion created a new gap in Saturn's rings visible from Earth. As the Krillian forces crumbled, humanity surprised the galaxy once more. Instead of annihilating their defeated enemies, they offered terms of surrender. Ambassador Sarah Kim stood before the assembled Galactic Council, addressing representatives from 100 worlds. "We could destroy the Krillians. We have that power, but we choose not to. We are not conquerors. We are protectors." The terms were simple. The Krillian Empire would dissolve, its conquered worlds freed. Their military technology would be surrendered to the Galactic Defense Pact. In return, humanity would help them rebuild as a peaceful civilization. Zethkar, his fleet shattered and his pride broken, asked the question that burned in every alien mind. How? How did you hide such power? Such capability? Rodriguez answered, standing beside Kim. We learned from our own history. The most dangerous warrior is not the one who displays strength, but the one who appears weak while preparing for war. We showed you our museums, our art, our culture. We hid our weapons, our training, our resolve. Dr. Chen added, you saw our diversity as weakness. It's our greatest strength. Every culture on Earth contributed to our defense. Different perspectives, different solutions, unified in purpose. The aftermath changed the galaxy forever. Species that had dismissed humans as newcomers now sought alliance with them. The Galactic Defense Pact, once a secret organization, became the dominant peacekeeping force with Earth as its primary military contributor. On Earth, monuments rose not to glorify war, but to remember the price of peace. The Krillian attack had unified humanity as never before, proving that differences in culture, religion, and nationality meant nothing when faced with a common threat. 5 years later, former High Commander Zethkar stood on Earth as an ambassador for the reformed Krillian Republic. In a ceremony at the United Nations, he formally apologized for the invasion. We came as conquerors, he said, his crystalline form now bearing marks of humility. We leave as students, having learned the most valuable lesson. True strength lies not in the power to destroy, but in the wisdom to build. Admiral Chung, now retired, watched from the audience with satisfaction. Beside her sat Dr. Chen, General Rodriguez, and countless others who had led humanity's defense. They had proven that humans, when united, were indeed the most formidable species in the galaxy. Not because they were the strongest or most advanced, but because they possessed something no other species had. The ability to appear weak while preparing for strength, to choose peace while maintaining the capacity for war, and to forgive while never forgetting. The galaxy had learned a lesson that would echo through the stars for millennia. Never underestimate humanity. For beneath their peaceful exterior lay warriors who had conquered their own nature, the most difficult victory of all. As the ceremony ended and the delegates dispersed, a young cadet asked Admiral Chung, "Ma'am, do you think we'll ever face another threat like the Krillians?" Chang smiled, looking up at the stars. Perhaps, but now the galaxy knows what we're capable of. And sometimes the greatest victory is never having to fight at all. Earth stood ready, vigilant, and peaceful, a guardian of the weak and a warning to the strong. The fury had been unleashed, the lesson taught. Humanity had taken its place among the stars, not as conquerors, but as protectors, the most dangerous role of all.